Hey guys, it's John with ReelBlue Custom Rods, and today I'm going to talk about how to apply a CFX carbon handle. This is actually a rear handle that I'm putting on one of my downrigger trolling rods, and I wanted to show you, one, how I do it, maybe show you some things that maybe you haven't thought about in the past, talk about a couple things you need to consider when you're using a carbon grip like this one here made by CFX, and of course, how to install it, or how I like to install it. So the first thing I want to do basically with these downrigger trolling rods that I like to build, these are 9.5 foot rods. I've made some at the 10.5 foot length, but these are 9.5 foot rods. The first thing that I want to do is point out a couple things. You notice that you have a built up portion here, or a cut down to receive your reel seat. And then, of course, you also have this back portion back here to receive your fighting butt like that, if that's what you want to do. But let me show you a couple things. So the first thing I like to do is I like to dry fit this fighting butt. I like this doorknob style with kind of the gimbal look on the bottom, and of course, and it has a hole back there on the back, which will get filled up, but it's great to let the air out. This is a Fuji fighting butt, so I like to slide that on. And then the next thing that I want to do is I'm going to come back with this piece of tape, and I'm just going to mark where this is at with this tape, and I'm going to slide that off. And then I'm going to come back here with my red marker, and I'm going to come down to here with that. When I do that that butt install, or that gimbal install, whatever you want to call it, doorknob butt. All right, now I'll go ahead and remove that tape. So that way I know where my handle will finish. And if I line this mark up that I just made with that red Sharpie in the edge of this handle, I know that my other end will be up here, but that's just going to give me an idea of how far I want to go when I rough that up. So the next step that I want to do, which you guys, I know I've done on all, I showed you guys on all the other videos on when it comes to handle installs, I want to prep the surface. This downrigger trolling blank, great blank by MHX, has a nice gloss black shine to it. I need to take that shine down just a little bit so it'll be prepared to receive this handle, and make sure I have a good bond between my two-part paste and my handle. And I'm just going to go just past where I think that handle is going to be at. I'll put my 3M pad away. I'm going to come back with a little isopropyl alcohol. I'm just going to take any of that residue off. See how that turned black right there? I'm just taking that off. And because it's isopropyl alcohol, it'll dry pretty quickly. And then I'm making a mark, this white mark here. That's my parabolic bend mark. And I'm just making a mark further up on the rod, just in case this one gets rubbed off in the process. So I have my blank prepared. I've got every mark that I want to have on here, marked. The next thing I want to do is go ahead and prepare my handle. And that is, again, the CFX carbon handle. So the first thing that I like to do, and I know this has, this handle comes with this part here for the butt to go on. The first thing I do is I come on here with a razor blade. I place it right next to the handle, and I just set it there, and I just kind of rotate the handle. And I take that part off, throw it in the trash. I've got a nice clean finish right here. And I'm going to do the same thing to the top. And I'll show you why here in a second. Now the bad part is cutting through this this kind of foamish part on the inside of this handle will jack your razor blades up, but that's why, one, they're cheap, and two, you should always have plenty of those on hand. And then we took that other piece off right there, and then I will show you why I do that. So why did I do that? Well, the first part is when we talk about this back here at the back end, so this is the very bottom of the handle. All right, because the rod diameter of these downrigger rods are quite large, there's two things that have to happen. One, I'm going to have to take a lot of this inside product out of this handle to make sure that the handle fits properly onto my blank. And number two, by doing that, that little piece that stuck out here, it gets worn out so thin that I just cut it off anyways, because I will still have a nice, clean finish once this goes on. So again, just to kind of recap, I made that mark earlier, right? So I have that red mark right there. So my handle will come to here, and then my doorknob butt will go on there all the way to the end. It'll come right here on nice and snug all the way to the end. That handle will be there. We'll have a nice clean finish. The second reason why I cut that stuff off is when I get to my reel seats. So when I get to the reel seat, I don't particularly like that little piece of the hard foam stuff on the inside right there. One, it doesn't work with the reel seats that I'm using, which are size 20 Camlocks Alps reel seats. But two, what happens is when I slide this reel seat onto that rod, I will have a nice, clean looking finish just like this. Now, again, this is just why I do what I do when I am building my downrigger and / trolling rods, but I wanted to show you how I prep the handle for that. Here is the next thing. So obviously, and I'm not going to bore you guys with it, but obviously I'm going to have to ream out the inside diameter of this handle to fit the rod blank that I have that I'm putting it on, right? Again, downrigging handle. If you look closely, you will see that the handle as we get close towards the reel seat, it's flared, right? Which of course allows it to receive the reel seat nice and neat like this, all right? Nice and flared. It helps give you a little bit more contact area or surface area for your hand. But the other part to that is the handle diameter right here in the center where it gets thin. So right here, we're flared, and then it gets thinner down here, and then it flares out just a little bit at the end. Where it flares right here, where it gets thinner right here in the middle, it almost becomes, it's not exactly the same diameter of this portion of the blank, but it comes very close. Why am I pointing that out to you? When you ream out the inside of the CFX carbon handles, you have to make sure that you don't ream too much right here in the center. One, you got to ream enough so it'll fit, but you don't want to over ream it, because what could happen is when you take away the inside portion of the handle, what happens is, you got to remember, this carbon is exposed, and what could ultimately end up happening is once you slide your handle down the blank with that 2-part paste on there, if you made the inside here too thin when you bored it out, you could actually have your paste or your adhesive starting to seep out between the pieces of the woven carbon here in your handle. So you do want to make sure you pay particular attention when you're reaming this out. Do not ream it out too thin right here. If you're looking at a website or you're wherever you buy your parts from, and you're looking at trying to, build a rod, and you want to have a carbon handle, and, you think that your rod might be, too thick for it, you want to make sure that the the inside diameter of this handle will accompany a larger size handled or a larger size blank like this one here. So you just got to make sure, because again, if you get too close to that carbon fiber, when you're reaming it all out, your paste will seep out of that. So you just got to do your homework when you're kind of putting your ideas together in your head or on paper and looking at what products you want to use on your build. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and ream out this handle so it will make sure it will fit this blank. We'll be right back. Okay, guys, so I'm done reaming out the inside of my handle. And so now what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and slide this onto my blank. And then it comes all the way down and it gets tight right down here by the end, all the way down to the end. I want to check here. And look, I noticed that I actually reamed out just a little too much up here on the top end. What can I do to make sure that I got a good fit? I could just go ahead and make sure when I put the paste in there, I know and understand that that will fill up and have a good seat on it. Or the other thing that I can do is I could slide that off. I come to my mark. I can take a piece of tape, slide that down, all the way down. I can slide that all the way down to my end mark, which is down here. I can look there. Oh, okay. And I can do one more thing. And I can add just a little bit more. And then you notice when I do add it, I get a little bit of the residual handle material that gets stuck on there on the blank and the tape. So what's happening is when I slide this down, and this will probably be pretty good, it may be a little tight, but that's okay. Yep, so I'm just going to stop right there. So you can see where it's taken a little bit of that foam out of there. So I have it tight enough, just two little small pieces of tape. Basically, I'm building an arbor. And then what happens is when I slide this handle down with that paste, it'll come down over that, and that will make sure I have a nice tight fit. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and prep my paste. So again, I like to use Pro Paste. So it's my part A. All right, and then I'll come back with some part B. Equal parts. Give that a good mix. All right, now I'm just going to go ahead and add that to my blank. I'm just going to make sure I coat the whole part of this blank. And I want to go all the way up to my point that I made, that other mark, which is right there just past the tape. I want to make sure I have some paste on the tape part. And then just make sure I have every part of this handle covered. I actually don't want this paste down there, but I'll get that off here at the end. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start to slide my handle on here. Just spin it around. And why I like to spin it, even though it's loose, I like to spin it to help make sure I get even coating of the paste on the rod or inside the handle. If I have it on the rod, I just try to make sure I get every part of the inside of this handle coated evenly. And then I'm just going to slide it down right there. Come back with this little piece of towel. And if you get some on top of your handle on your carbon fiber piece, it's okay. Just make sure you work quick to get it off of there. And I'm just going around. Isopropyl alcohol. Taking all the paste off, making sure I don't have any on my handle. All right, and then what I like to do, I'll let go of the handle, and I'll take my gimbal here on my doorknob butt. Yep, see that? I don't have it on all, I mean, I have the butt on all the way, but I don't have the handle down far enough. So if I'd have let that dry, that's the kind of finish I would have had. And then I'd have had to get creative to fill that using a trim ring or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and slide this down. Now I'll take this handle off, or this doorknob gimbal, and I'm just going to push just a little bit more. There you go. And then that's it. And then that's how you install your CFX carbon handle. So, hey, I hope this helps. I hope you found the video useful. If you like it, please hit the like button and feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. And feel free to share it with somebody that might find it useful. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting ReelBlue Custom Rods. And make sure you guys watch this next video here. And until next time, take care, guys. All right, bye.